Welcome to the Rod and Crumb Show. I'm your host, Rod.
I'm your host, Sean.
He means to say Crump, but he wants to be Sean today.
I'm Sean. That's
Rod and Crumb
that's my name.
Look, listen. He's a black man trying to be white. Don't let him fool you.
No, it's only white people can have regular names.
I mean, come on, you spell your name Sean like a white man. S-H.
That's how you spell it. That's how you spell it.
What about
Rod?
Rod?
What's your real name? What's your first name?
So listen, my parents named me.
I didn't ask for the history. I asked for what your name was.
Because my name is Josh, but that's
Josh.
fine. That's fine. What did you want it to be? Jose?
What you want my name to be? Big Juan or something?
Listen.
How can my name be Sean? My name's Sean.
Listen, that's Sean. That's Sean.
You know what I mean? You could even put Josh. I can see that one Joshua. At least I put my first name.
Everybody calls me Rod. What do you want me to do?
I don't call you no damn Rod.
Everybody calls me Rod. What you mean?
Who calls you Rod?
Everybody in the army called me Rod. Everybody in the press called me Rod.
In the army.
Listen here, Sean.
Rod. Lightning Rod.
This is gonna be the first episode you see Crump become a hater. Tonight he's a hater.
Man, I ain't a hater. I'm just telling the truth to the American people. All right?
Telling the truth to the American
people. Matter of fact, people of the world.
Trying to sabotage my name for my future career in politics.
Oh God, Josh Rodriguez.
If you want to get technical, it's Joshua.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, what's your real name though? Say your whole
name. Deshaun Orlando Steve Crump. That's my full name.
Oh, there we go. Look at him. Look at his man. Still can't.
I got no shame in my name.
Hey, blink.
I'm good. I'm blinking.
I see you now.
Okay. All right.
All right, bro.
Some racist jokes. That's all right.
Listen, I'm still confused, man. Every time you wear the LA hat, you fuck with my head a little bit, bro. So you're letting the governor take over Jersey, man. Wearing that hat, you just proving it to be right, man. And the next Jersey,
like the Dodgers,
the Los Angeles of the East Coast, bro.
No, he said California, the East Coast. That's what he wants Jersey to be. No, it's not gonna be the California East Coast.
You're supporting
California. Me being a Dodger fan has nothing to do with that. Even though my Dodgers let me down with that whole not the trans thing. What was that thing they did with that Jesus? You hear about that? That like anti-Catholic group that they had. They just
now you got to fill me in.
I don't know all of it because I'm like, all right, whatever. But it's so much ridiculousness. But basically, the Dodgers supported an organization that's very anti-Catholic, and they do shows that like mock Catholicism and Christianity. So they had a show where it was like, I saw one of the shows, like a piece of it. That's basically like Jesus. They had a guy that was on the cross being crucified, and they had this other guy basically doing doing a strip show on the guy. Like he was twerking on him and but he was like twerking on Jesus or something like that. And that group is known to be very anti-Catholic. And the Dodgers thought it would be a good idea to have them perform or have them go to Dodger Stadium. I didn't see the performance. I don't know what exactly they performed, but they had them there at Dodger Stadium. And that was a big uproar. I mean, this is serious shit right now. Like half the Dodger fans are, Latino. Most Latinos are Catholic. So they had this big uproar on the Dodger page. I posted something and all these people are like going, they're agreeing with me on it. They actually had a protest and many people in the protest were Hispanic. And because most Hispanics are Catholic. So like they were just protesting. They shut down. There's a road, I guess, that goes into one of the main entrances in the Dodger Stadium, and they shut it down. Wow. So yeah, it was big pro-Catholic protest, protest against the Dodgers and what they did. So I mean, like I don't understand. I mean, when people say, "All right, you're throwing all this like stuff in our face,"
yeah,
this is what people are talking about. You want to be anti-Catholic? I don't care. I'm not Catholic. If that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to spend your time on, just mocking people and trying to get a rise out of them, go ahead. That's your right under the Constitution, your First Amendment right to do that. Yeah. But then don't get mad when you start getting all this hate from pro-Catholic people. Bro, nobody cared about y'all. Most average people did not even know y'all existed until y'all threw it in our face. Same thing with the trans stuff, man. Like, me personally, and we may disagree tonight on this, I have no issue with anybody who wants to be trans. Do I believe that there should be laws stopping 18 people 17 and under from getting these type of surgeries and
Yeah.
and getting, chemically castrated at a young age? Absolutely. But when you're 18 plus, you do whatever you want. Just keep it keep it away from the kids. Do you? I don't really care. Do you? I'm all for it. I'll support your car. I'll support anybody who's trans that wants to do it and they feel like their rights are being denied by state government. As long as you're an adult, I will stand up for you. But when you throw it in people's faces constantly, it's basically like you trying to make people. It's like you try to make people, what's the word? Capitulate. Like you're making people. You will accept this. You will endure it. It's like, bro, most people don't give a shit about what most other people do. We only give a shit when you bother our kids with it, or you just throw it in our face constantly.
Yeah,
I tell people, I don't want anybody to feel offended, or I mean, you can feel offended. That's your problem. I'm only responsible for what I say, not how you feel. Yeah. But don't come at me and all this other crap, because I was for the LGBTQ movement. I was for their rights. I was for supporting anything that they, don't want equality. Before it was a cool thing to do. Before it was a trendy thing to do to stand up for them and all that. I was doing this back in 2004, 5, 6. When I was a teenager, and that's when I became politically involved. I'm 34 years old now. So I was doing it way before it was a cool thing to do. So I don't want anybody coming at my neck because I still support the movement. But I just feel like you shouldn't be throwing stuff in our faces. And if you want to, that's your right to do that. You want to be out there and throw it in people's faces, that's cool. But just understand, I say that's where we disagree. See that? We're going to disagree on that. I get why you put that, why you got the shirt, but we're gonna disagree. But let me finish real quick.
All right, I'll let you finish.
I will just always support the LGBTQ community, and as far as they want equality. Now, when the movement becomes about reverse inequality, like the feminist movement has become about reverse inequality, then we're gonna have some problems. But as long as it stays about equality, I'll be all for it, and we'll stand united with them.
Yeah. All right.
So go ahead, because I already know.
Here's my take on it, right? I'm not against gay people, bro. I'm not against trans people. My thing is, nowadays, most gay people that I meet and most trans people that I meet are like, you're going to accept this whether you believe in it or not. And that's when I'm like, no, the fuck I'm not. I have a certain thing I believe in. I'm going to believe what I believe in. You can believe whatever the hell you believe in, but you're not going to make me believe in your fucking cause, your fucking purpose. I have certain morals. I have a certain religious belief. I'm not going to call it religious beliefs. I don't follow religion. I follow a relationship with God, right? I try my best. Am I the best person? Hell no. Do I cuss? Yes. Should I not? Probably not, but I do because I'm not perfect. And there's certain things that I'm still working on that I'm trying to change. Don't get me wrong. Like, I know certain things that I do are still bad, but I'm still a work in progress. I've come a long way from where I was, at least. But anyways, getting back to the topic now. For example, in Colorado, there was a gay couple. They walked into a bakery, and they wanted the guy there. He was a Christian. They wanted him to make a cake for them for their marriage, same-sex marriage. Right. Bakery owner said, no, I don't believe in that. I'm sorry. So you can go somewhere else. Wasn't rude about it or anything. Just told them, no, I don't believe in that. And that was it. But they wanted to take it the step further and take him to court saying he was discriminating. So here's the thing that I have a problem with where we're coming at now, right? You're going to tell this dude, because he doesn't believe what you believe in, it's discrimination, but you're going to force everybody else to believe in what you believe in? What is that? What is that called?
That's called oppression.
Exactly. So why is it that we don't have the right to believe what we want to believe in, but they have the right to force their beliefs on us? Like, that's what I don't get. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't follow. So I know plenty of gay people. I can't say that I personally know any trans people nowadays, but I do know plenty of gay people still. And the ones that I know, they're not trying to force their beliefs on me like, hey, you got to be gay, or hey, you got to accept my belief, in whatever business you do or whatever you do in life. Because no, it's not like that. Like, I believe what I believe. You believe what you believe. We can get along. We could agree to disagree. You can be gay, and I don't mind, and I could be straight. You don't mind. I could believe it's not okay, but I'm not going to be like, yo, you're a bad person for it. You know what I mean?
Right,
The
exactly.
part that comes in where you're a bad person for it is when you're like, you have to believe what I believe in. It's being forced upon you. I'm going to shove it down your fucking throat until you believe it. Like, no.
Yeah, and see that's what I'm saying. That's pretty much where I'm at with it. You know, I don't. Some people, and I know we'll probably touch on this subject. A lot of people believe that like a lot of this is about trying to groom kids and you know pedophile. Touch on that pedophile thing. I don't agree with that for the vast majority. I think it is. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to indoctrinate. And I think they're trying to make kids. And we should all teach our kids to be accepting of anybody, no matter what they are, what they do, whether we agree with their lifestyle or not, because their lifestyle is not. Now, again, if you look at it from a religious sense, then you have your own religious belief. I am a person of God, but I also have my own. I guess this is where some people would probably say I'm not that. I'm not going by the word, but I'm not going to sit up here and say that somebody's lifestyle is evil when all they're doing is they're changing their sex. Yes, there are certain lifestyles that are evil. I don't think being a trans person is one of those types of lifestyles.
Yeah.
Do I believe you will be judged? You know,
Everybody will.
yes, but that's not my. That's not. We all will be judged by God, but that's not my job to judge you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will teach my kids, yo, if you see somebody who is a trans person, hey, you know, treat them like anybody else. I like.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to teach my kids. Oh, if you know, that's a woman, you know, dressed like a guy or vice versa. Like I'm not going to be, you know, treat them different. Like no, treat them with respect, like you would like to be treated. You know, but I feel like what they're trying to do in the schools though is indoctrinate kids to be like, hey, this is the lifestyle. You will accept this, and if you want to be like us, you can be like us. And that's some of the things in some of these school districts they're teaching. And I don't believe that's the case. Like, you cannot tell a kid who is 6, 7 years old, if you feel like a girl one day, you can be a girl. You feel like a guy one day, you be a guy. It's fluid. No, it's not fluid.
Yeah.
And it's not naturally fluid. If you have those feelings that, you know, oh, I feel like a girl and I feel like this, you have a mental disorder. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I mean, I'm not saying it as a you know jab, but you have a mental disorder, and I hope you get the appropriate help that you need. You know, like I just feel like we need to stop looking at this like this is a normal thing. It's not normal to think that I'm trapped in the wrong body. You know, it's not normal. But when I say it's not normal, again, it's not a jab. It's not a slight towards anybody. But we should not, like Vivek Ramaswamy says, we should not be affirming people's mental disorders. That is actually cruel to do. We should be trying to get these people help.
Mm-hmm. I believe
That's what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing. We could be compassionate. You know, again, if you're 18 plus, if you feel like, hey, the best help for me is to change my physical being and to use chemicals to assist that in surgeries, by all means, you're an adult. You make that decision. You do what you need to do. But to go after the kids and make them feel like, oh well, you can change anytime. No, it's actually scientifically. This is a scientific fact. You know, well, what I'm about to say scientific fact, but before that, boys, if you have like you have a son. Yes, your son at one point may pick up a doll and play with it, not because he thinks he's a girl, but because he sees his sisters doing it.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
I got a son now who does that. He's not even 2 years old yet, and he plays with their dolls. Sometimes he puts on their like little slippers and stuff. But am I over here saying like, damn, I think you might be a girl, bro. Let's go get you changed up real quick.
Right.
No, because he does what he sees is going on. What he sees is happening. He sees his sister is doing it, so he's copying. He's imitating it. Like he sees me. He sees me put on my house slippers or whatever, and he puts them on too. You know what I mean? It's not like that's the crazy part, bro. Like nowadays, a 2, 3, 4-year-old can be like, "Hey, I like wearing these pink slippers," and they're like, "Oh shit, let's cut your dick off real quick. I think you're a girl."
All right.
Like really? Like Really, that's child abuse, bro. In my
That's
eyes,
child abuse.
that's child abuse. And if I ever get to a point in politics where I get to make certain laws, I swear to God, I will make a law that gives you a 20-year minimum sentence in prison for that and a possible death penalty for it. Because that's how strongly I believe in it, bro. I'm like, fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no.
No,
That's
I see. I agree with you on that. I think the severity of it, I probably disagree, but I agree with you. No, because I'm against the death penalty. It's all about principle, and now we're going to see this great thing about this show. We're going to go off on a different topic real quick. Yeah. The reason why I'm against the death penalty is because I don't believe government can sit up here and wag his finger at you saying you can't kill people, but because you kill people, we're going to kill you. And you can't get in trouble because we're the government. We can kill you. Like, no, I just don't. No.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But I get why some people want the death penalty. I'm not saying that there's people out there who probably don't deserve it. I mean, those guys who slaughtered, dozens of people throughout the decades and got away with it. If I got caught, yeah, they deserved it. Yeah. But I personally, I don't believe just because you're government, you can just do whatever you want. I feel like the death penalty is one of those things that say you can't do it, but we can. Like, no.
I get what you mean. I just feel like people who commit heinous acts towards children, I just feel like they don't deserve to live. I feel like they deserve to die because why do we need them on Earth? Why do we need them here? What good are they? What are they useful for?
And I understand that. And I've seen a lot of these parents. I've seen videos of them on TV, and these parents just seem off. Oh, there's two things. They either seem off themselves, like they seem like there's something wrong with them. Oh yeah. Or they seem like they're so political about this issue that they're pushing like an agenda through their kids. Like they're making their kids their ideology in the flesh. You know what I mean? Yep. And that stuff is just, to me, just crazy. Let your kid be your kid. Like exactly. Do I believe your kids are influenced? Like there was this on Snapchat. There's like there's like these. I know you don't got Snapchat, but they had these stories on there that you can watch. Yeah. And like one of the shows on there is like. It was like this guy, he came out to his dad that he was gay. Well, it doesn't really surprise me that he's gay because that's all he's seen his whole life. He's adopted by his fathers. And it's like, okay, well, I would like to see a study with this. What's the likelihood if you're raised by the same-sex couple that you would yourself want to be same-sex? I don't believe that everybody's born gay. I don't. I think some of it is a choice. And we all went to high school. We all remember when we were in high school and there was these girls, oh, I'm gay. Oh, I love her. I love girls. And then like 5 years later, they got like four different dudes. And they got a guy and then all they're all about is just guys. You know what I mean? Like we've seen that. I do think it is a phase for some people. I think it's a choice for some people. I do believe some people are born like that. And I would love to see those parents who are same-sex couples. What's the percentage of their kids that become gay? Because I don't necessarily believe everybody is born gay. I think some people choose to be gay. Again, this is not a slight at the gay community or the LGBT community, because some people, you cannot sit up here and say that, everybody's born gay. No, I do think that some people choose to be gay. Yeah, of course. But did the vast majority do? No, I think vast majority, I do believe them that they are born that way. And there's actually a article. Well, you know what? We'll talk about that at a different time. But there's actually maybe some reasons why that's happening to some people. Yeah. But nevertheless, we'll talk about that at a different show. But I do believe most people are born like that, and I believe same thing with the trans thing. I would love to see people who like. There's just one couple on one of those shows on Snapchat. It was a guy who got with a woman, but she transitioned into a guy, but still had his kid. But she was a guy. Like she did the whole 9 yards, dude. Like had the facial hair, just became physically a guy. Got her breast removed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm like, she's saying, and then this is the thing that we're kind of looping right back on topic. How she was like, well, men can have kids too. No, you can't. And this is, again, I will play. I'm different. I know I'm less adamant. I'm less stringent than you are. I will play the game with them for a little bit. Trans men can be pregnant. Trans men can have periods. Men can't get pregnant. Men can't have periods. You gotta add that trans on there because if not, now you're denying the whole basis behind biology and science.
Yeah.
And then when I talk up to my, and I'm gonna let you speak after this, I'm not going on. But then I want to talk to my progressive friends, my pro-choice friends, my leftist friends, all the same. If men can get pregnant, why do you then sit up here and deny my right as a man to speak on the issues of abortion? What is the main thing when a guy speaks on the issue of abortion? Oh, men shouldn't be telling women what they can and cannot do with their bodies. Well, hold up. You just said I can get a period and get pregnant. So why are you denying my right as a man to have a voice on this issue? Why are you denying half of the population to have a voice on this issue? And then they come back and say stuff like, "Oh, I love this." They come back and say stuff. Oh, they can't identify what a woman is and other arguments. But then when it comes to the abortion issue, they do kind of tell themselves and identify what a woman is. I've heard this before. Oh, do you have a uterus? Oh, you're not a woman. So that means you don't. So that means you can't get pregnant. Which means you don't have a say on this issue. But hold up, just in the other trans issue, you just told me I don't need a uterus to be able to have kids, and I don't need to be able to get pregnant. Or excuse me, now I don't lost my train of thought. I don't
Yes, man.
I lost my train of thought because these people, bro, trying to get this mental gymnastic thing around like they do, they're experts at it. They're experts at it. So basically, they sit up there and say stuff like, "Oh, you don't need to be a man. You don't need to have a uterus to be considered a man when it comes to trans issues. But when it comes to abortion, you do need to have a uterus to be considered a woman." You understand what I'm saying? It's just the mental gymnastics that these guys have is just crazy. That's why I had a hard time like getting it out.
You know what it is, bro? So I'm going to say they're not good at mental gymnastics. Maybe a specific group, a certain amount of people are good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And those people are just good at brainwashing the rest. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain group of people that know what they're saying is wrong. And they're doing their best to convince everybody else that it's correct.
Because I think at one point they have to realize you contradict yourself. I always say leftists, and you know why they do that? You know why the left can constantly contradict themselves if you look at bigger issues like abortion and trans issues? Oh, well, you're a woman if you have a uterus when it comes to abortion. But when it comes to being a trans woman, you don't need to have a uterus to be considered a woman. You can have a dick and be considered a woman. But if you have a dick, if you're a man and you have a dick when it comes to abortion issues, you have no say. Because you're not a woman, but on the other side, it's just, bro, it's so crazy. But if you just look at all the issues, this is what happens when you base your ideology solely off of raw in the moment emotions. Because you can say stuff like, "Oh, you're a man, you have no say on this issue because you're a man and you don't have a uterus. You're not a woman. Yeah. You don't have a say over here. You're hey, you got a wig on, you got implants, and you still got a dick. Oh well, you consider yourself a woman. You're a woman, and no, it's not a trans woman, Rod. It's a woman. Say woman. Stop calling them trans women. They're women.
Oh,
shit. I mean? Like they do, bro. It's just like when you base your ideology off of just raw emotion. Like, look, another example.
I can't even call it a trans. I can't even call them a trans woman. You know what I call them?
What?
Dudes with tits, bro.
Well, you're more. Because most
I'm just fucking honest. I'm just blunt, bro.
I'll play the game with them, but I'm not. You're not going to tell me. I'll even call you what you want me to call you. You know what I mean? Like if you were to transition into a woman, my name's not Jocelyn, where it's Jocelyn or whatever.
Jocelyn.
I would go along with it, but don't sit up here and try to tell me that you're the same woman that a woman who was born a woman. You're not.
I gotta stop you real quick, Crump.
You're the same. What?
Hypothetically speaking, if I were to be like, "Yo, Crump, I think I'm a girl or a woman," you would
be an ugly woman.
You would let me to continue to think that about you would feed into my mental illness,
bro. I'm not responsible for what you say or how you feel about your life.
Oh man, Crump.
I will let you, bro. I'm gonna crack jokes on you. I'm gonna be like, bro, you my bro. I'm still gonna call. I may joke, but at the end of the day, like if that's what you want to do,
you want to see my boobs?
No, I don't want to see none of that. I mean, you got boobs now. So what you? I don't want to see that now. Like,
You just you mad because you can't nothing like this, all right? At least
I don't want it.
face, bro. Come on
I'm
now.
good. I'm good.
Come on now.
But I'm good.
What you got? What you got? What you got?
I,
You got that.
bro, this is
You got,
look.
you
We're
got a
not seeing
teacher's body.
what.
You got a teacher's body.
I want to know. See what you got. You got the plumber. Been a plumber since 1991 body.
Plumber.
Got that damn Luigi body.
Bro.
You got that Mario body.
Baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
I can show you something. We can do this. We can.
Oh. Hey, cotton picking get you going good, huh?
Yeah, well, I guess you have been out in the damn fruit fields picking
that's
oranges.
out in the field, man. Hey, you know what? Hey,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
It ain't even cotton picking, bro. It's all that jacking off you do with your right hand.
Nah, I'm good. I ain't you. I ain't you.
Oh, you still want to jack off with my right hand?
Yeah, you probably do.
For your information,
And I can see in the last episode, I can see you ain't lay off them tamales. I can see because this ain't tight. It's kind of rounded. It ain't
like that.
It's little grease now. You better
listen.
Get that grease.
I don't sit over here and eat fried chicken all day and the chitlins.
Yeah, you eat them damn tamales and that ceviche. You better.
Is that what you think? Hey, ceviche is healthy, bro.
I like ceviche. It's great. It's excellent, but you ain't supposed to eat that every day.
I mean, you could eat it every day. Honestly, it's not really that bad for you.
No, it's actually good. I love ceviche. Look, and I want to let new viewers know we're all kidding here. We're boys. This is what this is how we talk. I don't want nobody trying to get us banned off of YouTube.
We're kidding? Fuck, dude.
Oh yeah. All right. I know. Sometimes y'all get a little funny in the movement.
Hey, you know what? Let me just say something. Fuck YouTube. Fuck Mark Zuckerberg, man. Fuck the whole empire, bro. Fuck them all.
Yeah, fuck being politically correct. Look, say what you want. Basic jokes are funny.
Joe Biden, fuck you, Joe. If you're watching this, Joe, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Hey, let's go, Brandon. Hey, Joe Biden, debate RFK Jr. Stop being afraid, dude. Debate Kennedy.
Bro, he can't even fucking debate his wife what he's gonna eat for breakfast, bro. It's
the only reason why, and you know what Vivek said? Hey, he can't. You know what Vivek said? We all, I guess it's a good transition to what we're about to talk about next. You know that Biden has a independent counsel that is not independent. I don't do independent counsels. A special counsel investigating his document issues. I've been saying this for the longest time, but Vivek Ramaswamy, running for president, my guy,
yeah,
I'm supporting. He said that there's nothing's going to come about this. Nothing. They're going to drag their feet. They probably already got everything they need to have on Biden to take him down.
Oh yeah.
But they don't want to take him down as long as Donald Trump's still the front runner. And if Donald Trump were to drop out or he were to lose, and it's like some younger guy, maybe it's DeSantis, Vivek, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, whoever else is running. If it's somebody else running against Biden, then they're going to force him out. Oh, we came out. We had an investigation. President Biden was wrong for taking these documents. He was this, that, and the third. And, people are going to start in the Democratic Party and the media going to try to force him to either resign as president or at best step aside, let somebody else run in 2024. He serves out the rest of his term. Let Kamala or Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, run in his place.
Hold up. Hold the fuck on. Gavin Newsom is a piece of shit. If that motherfucker decides to run, bro, he's gonna for sure lose. He's a crazy motherfucker, dude. Have you seen the shit he's done in California?
I know. I used to like Gavin Newsom too back in the day.
Bro, oh hell no, bro.
When I was a liberal, when I was young, I used to like Gavin Newsom.
He's a psychotic liberal narcissist, bro.
Oh no! If you look at this guy, you see it, bro. I used to like him, especially like 8 years ago. He was talking about automation and like how I was gonna take over, and we had to like prepare for that. I used to like that. I'm like, oh man, he's really talking about issues nobody talks about.
Oh,
but like now, no, I don't like him now. I would never vote for him.
I don't like him now. Fuck that guy.
No, I wouldn't vote for him now. But
fuck you, Gavin.
But Gavin Newsom, like, bro, this guy, like, if you look at how he just did you see him last summer when he went to the White House? Biden wasn't there. You have to YouTube it. I mean, you could. I don't know if you want to find. You can find it.
Say it again. What was it again?
When Gavin Newsom went to the White House last summer,
That was recent. Yeah, I was gonna say that's recent, right?
Oh, bro, I don't know if you want to show the viewers the video. If you want to look it up, bro. This guy talk about narcissist. He makes Obama look very humble. Like, bro, this guy This guy took the jacket off. He's walking around the Rose Garden with the jacket on his shoulder, looking around, pointing. And I'm like, bro, all right, President Newsom, like, calm down. Joe Biden's still president. No, it was so arrogant, dude. Like, it was disgusting.
Let's see.
He's a narcissist. I saw, like, he had an interview with Hannity this week or last week, and bro, just some of the looks. It was like I was watching. What was that show? Oh, I forgot what it's called. Oh yeah, here it is. Look at this.
Newsom enters the West Wing of the White House amid speculation about his political future.
California's lucky to have them. They have our back, we have their back, and there's no greater partner.
The governor accepting a national award on behalf of California from the National Forum on Educational Policy, a bipartisan group.
I do believe education's under assault.
No, you don't.
In ways that I've never experienced in my lifetime.
Yeah, but
California's continuing his public feud with red state governors, including Ron DeSantis of
there
Florida,
you go, Ron.
presidential candidate.
But what's happening now?
That's wild, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. There's more footage, but this man, he's strutting around the White House, he's pointing, he's loving it.
He's like, listen, this is me next year. All right, I'm gonna get this motherfucker kicked out.
This guy's out of here. I'm like, dude, like, so Gavin Newsom, man, like, he was on Hannity, and I give him credit. I give him credit for going on Hannity. Most people won't go on any type of conservative media that are on the left. Give him credit for doing it. It was actually a good interview, good back and forth. He's a likable guy. You hear him speak. He looks presidential. He looks like a guy that'll be able to be president on like some TV show or some movie. Like, he has a looks, but he did one thing that I saw the look in his eye. I'm like, bro, he looked like he was crazy. Like, he was just sitting there, like, watching, like, looking at Hannity. He was just like,
hey, was it that I'm gonna rape you look?
Yeah, bro. It was just so, like, I don't know if it was the camera angle, but the man was just sitting there, and like, he looks presidential. He got the hair, slick back hair, a little gray. You know, he's just sitting there, and the way he's positioning his body. I'm like, bro, this guy looks like he's about to kill Hannity right now. Like, he looked crazy, but no. Gavin Newsom will be the nominee in 2028. I don't think if they don't kick Biden out. If they kick Biden out, then it's going to be Newsom.
Let me show you something real quick, man. I just found this, actually.
You may open now.
Gavin Newsom has saved California.
Hey, you can open. We did it. Time to open up.
He took a hard stand against
We
COVID-19.
did it. We defeated him. I mean, we ended the lockdown.
And now he's taking a stand for business.
Anybody in here? Hello. Open up.
No one's left.
Every step of the way, Gavin Newsom made the right decision.
Hey, homeless guys, you go back to work now. We did it.
We are all in his debt.
High five, California.
Gavin Newsom, he did a good job. Paid for by Gavin Newsom's campaign to not recall Gavin Newsom, but instead consider him a viable option for president in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys that I don't know if he put people in nursing homes like Murphy and Cuomo were, but it was a disaster.
You laughed at that video.
I did because it's true. Like, I mean, you could really put that for New Jersey too. I'm glad I was in Korea. It's a shame. I was so happy I was in a different country,
Gavin,
than being in New Jersey during the COVID pandemic. Like, Gavin Newsom's a disaster, dude. Like, he's just as bad as Murphy and Cuomo.
It's a disaster. California's a disaster, bro.
And then he tried to defend. This guy lied. This guy lied on Hannity saying that you actually pay more taxes if you live in Texas than you do in California. This is one thing that they do. They like to do a lot of projecting, that the left does. And I'm like, bro, they don't have an income tax. And Hannity said this. Oh, and I don't know why Hannity didn't grill him on this more.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, Hannity, that's only for if you're the top 1%, you don't pay taxes in Texas and Florida. I said, I'm like, no, Hannity, can you correct him on that? Because that's not accurate.
What?
Nobody pays income tax, whether you're a billionaire or whether you make $10,000 a year. You do not. Yeah, in Florida and Texas, you do not pay any income taxes at all. At all. Whether you're a billionaire or somebody makes 10 grand a year, you do not pay income taxes at all. Zero. So what he was saying was just so incorrect. It was just insane, dude. And then he was saying, well, we have more startup businesses in California. Okay, you also have like almost 40 million people that live there. So yes, you're gonna have more startup businesses than Kansas. Like he was trying to compare it to like Kansas and stuff. I'm like, bro, you can't compare California to Wyoming.
How are these politicians allowed to go on like these interviews without knowing the facts, bro? How?
Because nobody checks them, especially in the states of California. They agree. And Gavin Newsom was a Republican, and he was just trying to buck the trend. Oh, bro, they would be grilling him all day.
We need to bring some of these guys on our podcast.
Bro, I wish I could get Gavin Newsom, bro. He barely would go on Fox, $1 billion media corporation.
If we had Gavin Newsom on this podcast, he'd be so embarrassed. He'd be calling his buddies like, "Have these two motherfuckers arrested right now." Like,
oh, he wants Ron DeSantis to get arrested for sending illegals all over the country. It's crazy because I argue with this guy.
That's perfect. Texas is doing the same shit. You know, Governor Abbott over here, right? Doing the same thing.
That's how you know he better come after Abbott.
But you know what they're doing?
What?
The Biden administration is promising work cards and housing and food stamps and stuff like that to these immigrants, not just Mexico, but like you got like Brazil, you got fucking Peru, you got Costa Rica, everybody down there, right? He's like, hey, come here and we'll offer you food, shelter, and work and all this stuff. And apparently they're being given I-94s. They're being taken to an immigration center down here, downtown in San Antonio, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They're being held there for 3 days, released with these work cards. And so they have no idea how to utilize them because no one tells them shit about it. They just release them to the street and they're like, hey, go figure your life out. And they're coming here based off of that promise, bro. That's why right now Texas has such a huge border issue because the Biden administration is promising all this stuff and they're giving it to them. But the thing is, bro, like you're causing it. So why would the governor here not send these people to like LA? Like LA, they're like, oh, we're getting these people. I'm gonna fucking, I'm putting in a complaint against, the governor of Texas and this and that. Well, if you don't want them here so bad, why are you offering all this shit, you and your buddies? But you want them to come to these, cities and stuff close to the border, but you don't want them to touch your liberal ass cities over there. Go to fucking LA, Atlanta, Chicago, New York.
Well, that's what it is, bro. Like that's why I say they a lot of the stuff another thing that progressives do. Not only do they contradict themselves, they also like say shit that they say it, but they don't really mean it. Oh, we care about black people. Oh, well, yeah, we're gonna neglect your part of the city and make it look like Baghdad. But we care about black people. Like, oh, we care about immigrants. We're a sanctuary city. Okay, all right. Well, if I'm the governor of Texas, all right. Well, we're not a sanctuary state. You guys are. I'm assuming you guys are prepared to have immigrants come there.
So come on out, baby.
Here you go. Oh, this is horrible. This is human trafficking.
This is bullshit, Governor.
We got 500 people here. We can't handle this. But yeah, down in Texas, you get hundreds of thousands of people a month. Good luck. I'm pretty sure you can handle it. No, bro. If you guys want to be sanctuary places, take them,
bro.
Why are you mad that I never understood this too. This is another contradiction. You always like to say that these types of states, like Alabama, Florida, like Texas, they're all racist states. Like, hey, the NAACP just said if you're black, don't go to Texas, don't go to Florida, don't live there. It's racist. But then, like, if Florida were to send a bunch of like Haitian immigrants to like New York City, it'd be, oh, this is horrible. This is a slave trade all over again. Like, bro, you just said that these states are racist. So why would you want minorities to be in states that you say are racist? Same thing with the country. They love to say that America's a racist country. Okay, if it's a racist country, why are you encouraging a bunch of people of color to come here then? Oh, come join in the subjugation. Like, we ain't going to be the only ones suffering. Like, what?
This reminds me, I have a black friend, right? It's actually a gay black friend. And he had told me, because I'm like, hey, come down to Texas, you and your husband, come down, we'll hang out, grab some brewskis or whatever, right? You know what first thing he told me was, you know what he told me? He's like, I can't come down to Texas. Them motherfuckers are racist. They're gonna noose my ass. I'm like, bro, really? I'm like, you know how many in San Antonio, right? In San Antonio, Texas. Did you know that like I think it's like between 60 and 75% of the population is Spanish?
Right.
I can't say what Houston and Dallas and all that are, but just the fact that he told me I can't come down there because I'm black, because they're gonna noose me, and because they're racist. It just tells me like, you're believing all this shit the media feeds you. Like it's not true. Like I'm Hispanic, I'm not getting my ass whooped, and that's another thing I kind of want to touch on too. Like, a lot of black people are like, oh, this country was only racist against us at one point in time. No. Did you not see the sign that said no niggers, no spics, no chinks, and all that stuff? It wasn't just black people. If you were a knot of white skin, you were getting your motherfucking ass whooped.
Hell, if you had to be a British, you had to be a WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. You couldn't even be like an Irish.
Exactly.
Irish white person or an Italian. Or from Spain or Portugal.
You were calling Italians grease heads and shit, grease balls and shit.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy, bro. And it's just, I mean, I'm not
because we're not taught. Because a lot of us black people, we're not taught our history, bro. Why is that in public schools, right? And that's one thing I always want to ask black people, man. Y'all always want to talk about race, like slavery, as if black people just popped up during slavery. We got thousands of years of history pre-slavery that we don't know nothing about because all y'all want to talk about is American slavery.
Hey, did you know Egyptians were slaves at one time back in the Old Testament? The Bible, you read it, they were making the pyramids for the pharaohs and all that shit.
They were the Jews.
Were they the Jews? No, they were also Egyptians
too. They might have been Egyptians, yeah.
What do they call?
I'm trying to think because I heard that. Yeah, I'm not. We're not theologians, so.
I don't know a lot about that. I'm just trying to go back in time.
No, y'all got you. I'm trying to mess up your flow. Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot about it, so I'm not going to touch too much on it. But I mean, all throughout history, no matter what point in time you were in, somebody was a slave at one point. There was slaves. There's still slaves today. There's Muslim slaves in China, bro.
I mean, the Uyghurs in West China.
There's slaves everywhere, bro. You got child slaves. You got Muslim slaves. There's places. I mean, there's countries we don't even know about that there's probably freaking slaves in every white, black, Mexican. Who fucking knows?
But you know what? You'll never hear about that. You know why? Because those countries are minorities enslaving other minorities. But let Poland have slaves, bro. Yeah, we would have been hearing about this till the end of the world. Because the media doesn't care. Like that's why I try to tell my progressive friends, man. Like they don't care about us. They only care about us. They don't care. So other black people kill black people. Who cares? Whatever. Hey, if the Chinese are enslaving a bunch of basically Muslims who are not ethnically Chinese in West China, who cares? A bunch of colored people just enslaving each other. But like I said, if France started like having slavery, it would be the end of the world, bro. We would be hearing about this nonstop. I mean, look at Sudan. I mean, nobody talks about Darfur anymore. That was nothing but a bunch of Arab Muslims slaughtered a bunch of black Christians. You think people want to talk about that? No, they stopped talking about that about a decade ago. You don't hear nothing about Darfur and Sudan no more. Why? Because it's not trendy. You know what? It's really a bunch of leftist black people ain't gonna want to hear about it, and a bunch of trendy leftist white people don't want to hear about it. So that's who they tailor the news to. A bunch of leftist idiots, low IQ idiots.
And there's still a ton of minority, like back to the Christian thing. There's still a ton of minority Christians across the world that are being murdered for their.
They're being murdered every day,
imprisoned.
But because they're Christian, nobody wants to talk about it. But if they were Muslim and they're getting slaughtered in mass, we would talk about it for a little bit. I'll give the media. They talked about Darfur a little bit. for about a year, in 2012, 2011. But outside of that, they're not going to talk about it.
But you know why they only talk about certain things, right?
Tell me. I mean, I pretty much know.
If you look into the records, bro, and in the ownership of these media companies, all these media companies tie into big corporations, and all these big corporations tie back to the government, bro.
I mean, well, it came out publicly back in the 1970s during congressional hearings that the CIA basically infiltrated all the big media organizations, and that some of the anchors are on a CIA payroll, and that the CIA also provides talking points for the news to these media organizations. Mussolini said fascism is the merger of government and corporations. Tell me how we don't live in a fascist country today. This is not political. It's not really left or right. But
you're not wrong.
You have, like you had 2020, you had the government and these big social media corporations working hand in hand to suppress certain negative news about Joe Biden, such as the laptop, his son's laptop, as the biggest one. Any bad news about Trump or about Biden, it was suppressed. Excuse me. So, how's that not how's that? If you go by Mussolini's definition, Mussolini was a dictator of Italy, for people who didn't know, back in World War II, who allied with Germany and of Hitler. How's that his definition of fascism not apply to that? Corporations and government on a daily collude against this people. And you can see that in many facets when it comes to chemicals in our water, when it comes to the type of foods that are produced, that are put out on our shelves.
Yeah, it's fucked
up. I can keep going. Why do we have corporations controlling our elections? I don't want a corporation controlling our voting machines.
You see what's in our food these days, bro?
Garbage.
People don't believe it. They don't see it. But if you actually read the labels on these food ingredients, the same shit. I shit you not, bro. I've looked them up. I've looked a ton of them up. The same things you find in your home Lysol, you can find it in your fucking cookies, your crackers, your potatoes.
Right.
The same shit you find in poisons, like rat poisons. You find that shit in food. It's crazy. They just have different. They're all named different names. So sometimes you have to input one name, and there's 4 other names for it. It's crazy.
Right.
It's
that's right. And that's why RFK Jr. and Marianne Williamson, she's the other woman running for president. I wish the media would take them seriously. It's RFK Jr. He was an environmental lawyer. He's a Kennedy. He's polling at 20%. You have Marianne Williamson, who's at 10%, who she ran in 2020. The woman didn't get nowhere close to 10% in 2020.
Yeah.
She got 10%. She's doing better now than she did. She ain't going to be nominated, but she did better now than she did 4 years ago. And they talk about these issues. When Marianne Williamson was talking about in 2020, when she's on the debate stage, and I know we could probably find this clip, but she was saying how there's chemicals. We need to not have we have a sick care system. We only want to talk about health when somebody's already sick. We need to have a preventative care system. And when Marianne Williamson started talking about chemicals in the water and the chemicals in the food, the moderator was like, all right, thank you. It was Lester Holt, NBC. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Shut your mouth now. All right. Our sponsors give it too much money for you to be talking about that. They shut her down. RFK Jr. talking about the vaccines. He's been talking about vaccines for decades. How they're screwing people up. They're not. I don't think all this. He said, I'm not anti-vaccine. I just want more done to make sure these vaccines are actually safe. Do you think that kids should be getting all these vaccines before the age of 2? Absolutely not.
Watch this.
Absolutely not. If I wasn't in the military, I made that sacrifice to get these vaccines. But if I wasn't in the military, I would have been vaccinated for anything in almost 20 years.
No, I feel that. Bro, I hate vaccinations. I don't believe in vaccinations. I'll be honest. Look at this list, though. This is just an example. Red dye. This is from Cleveland Clinic, right? Red dye, 40 side effects. So read this, right?
And exactly.
And look at this. Look at this right here. And now, look at this. Of course, you can't see it, What do you see right there?
Researchers also found tumor growth in animals that consume high doses of food dyes, though it can be hard to translate what it means for kids, says whatever, plan on whatever.
I gotta get you this one. This one right here.
But bro, that's crazy because my son cannot have red dye because it will he starts getting very like what I said irritable. He's very wild, uncontrollable.
That's what it does, bro. Look at that label. Look at that mouse.
Where are you pointing at? I'm trying to see where you're.
Here, I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, you should be able to see it. Yeah, you see that?
I can't see. I cannot see. We cannot see it. If it's yeah, we're not gonna be able to see that. Read it. Are you able to read it?
Yeah, it says red 40. Look how small it is. Look how small that is.
Well, they did it on purpose. Same thing that when you get these medications and stuff that they sell, they advertise on TV. Which, by the way, we're in the country that advertise medications on TV. But that's why the guy is like after the side effect. You know, after the girl and guy is done running around in this field. You know, where I'm like, where's the field at? But after they're done running in the field, you have the guy that's like. You know, like the side effects included. Bro, why are you allowed to do that? I would legit have to record what you're saying, slow it down to understand what you're saying. Side effects. It's like going on for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, bro, again,
on purpose, bro. It's on
government,
purpose.
But government allows these corporations to do that.
Yep.
They said, no, you're not gonna speed through it. No, you're gonna take that whole 5 minutes if needed, tell everybody what's in that shit, so they can decide. Would I rather just deal with the cancer I got, or would I rather have to, or do I want to take this medicine and then 5 months later I'm over here cutting my hands off and eating it because I done went crazy and drinking my blood? Like, you know what I mean? Like, And they don't ever do that. They don't ever, because government and corporations colluded with each other. This is one thing I agree with Bernie Sanders and the left and some leftists with. Yes, corporations have taken over our society, but it's because government allowed it to happen. And y'all solution and government's working along with corporations to do this stuff to us. But their solution to corporations do what they want is more government.
They pay a lot of money, bro.
They do, but that's my point. It goes back to my point of how these people just contradict themselves. Government assisted in the problem, but you guys think that the solution to the problem is to use the problem. Government's the problem. How can you solve a problem with a problem? You can't. That's why my libertarian streak comes out. And I said, well, you just decentralize everything, and it's hard for corporations to have this control. But because the left, and this is why corporations and these banks support the left wants to amass more power up to the government. This is why they support that. Because they know the more power you take from the states, local government, and more importantly, the people, you give it to the federal government, and they're like, oh, well, we control the federal government, so it'll be easy to just, all right, federal government here, we dictate to y'all how everything's going to go. Or we get away with anything we want. So and to the point where your state and local governments can't do anything about it.
Yep, that's the shitty part, man. Like it kind of triggers me a little bit, bro, because all the same stuff that people fought for in previous wars, everything they fought for that we're fighting to stop is happening. It's been happening.
Because they tried. Because these elites tried to do what they wanted. They tried to do what they wanted to do in World War II. They wanted to overtly take over the world. They failed. They fell flat in their face. So what happened? We didn't defeat them. We defeated a puppet that they were using. But they never went away. We didn't defeat the real enemy, which is these multinational corporations, these banks, and these very wealthy elite families that are so wealthy they're not even listed on the wealthiest people in the world. We never defeated them, and they are the ones that covertly now are taking over the world through corporations, putting and controlling our government and putting stuff in our water, controlling our foreign policy, controlling our monetary strength, controlling job growth and creation in this country. They control everything. and they do it with the help of the government. I'm not saying the average person in the government is a horrible person, but we need to have more people step up and join the government. You can cause more change from inside. You don't kill a cancer, or you don't. I shouldn't say cancer because some people be like, that's not right. You just take the cancer out. You can't kill something always by just fighting, throwing rocks at it from the outside. Sometimes you need to go inside and change it. And that's why we need more people to run for office. We need more people out there to be whistleblowers. There's a lot of great people. Most people in the government are great people. The average person, I'm not telling it the average person. It's more that top leadership. Yeah. The average person trying to make a living is not a bad person. I'm talking about those people out there, you know, who became millionaires by working for government. Yeah, doing things that they know is screwing over their fellow American. And this is why we need more people to get involved in elective politics. We need more people to be activists, be watchdogs. We need people in the government to be whistleblowers. We need people to apply for federal jobs and not to do bad stuff. I'm not saying apply for the job just to go in there and try to expose it. Like go there and be a good person. Bring morality to government. Go in there and when somebody tells you to do something wrong, don't do it. Yep. Be like, no, I'm not doing that. And then if they can continue to push, get them in trouble. That's a problem in this country. We're so afraid when somebody pushes us to do something bad. We'll just be like, I'm not going to do it, but I'm just going to leave it alone. Let them move on to the next person, see the next person. No, call them out. That goes, I don't care if you're in government. I don't care corporate America. I don't care if you work at a hot dog shop. And the guy dropped the hot dog on the ground and he said, pick it up. And you're like, no. And he threatened you. And he's like, all right, whatever. I'm not going to pick it up, but whatever. No, call his ass out. Get him in trouble. Because if he's done it once, he's going to continue to do it. Mm-hmm. I don't mean to go on, bro, like and filibuster and not let you speak, man. But this stuff, I get heated, man, because we need people to start standing up for this is your country. This is your world. This is your world. I don't care if you live in France. I don't care if you live in the Netherlands. I don't care if you live in Liberia. Stand up for your country. This is a people's freedom revolution that we got going on here. It's not left or right. It's about right and wrong. Yep. It's about we are not the enemy. You're a progressive. You're really not the enemy. Yeah, we're gonna have these low-level disagreements right now. We are. There's certain things that we're not gonna agree with. But the bigger picture, if you look at what we're arguing about, we're talking about these big picture the issues. Excuse me, like the economy, like wars. Those things are not done by just right or left. Yep. Okay. These are things that we can come together on. We need a left-right alliance. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things I agree with, like I said, with Bernie Sanders. I don't agree with the solutions, but I agree with the issues that he's bringing up. That he's bringing to the public forum, bro. And that's why I'm saying, if you're out there, it don't even, again, this transcends politics. Yeah. We need to stand up for our world because it's not right versus left, Democrat versus Republican. If you live in Canada, the Conservative Party versus the Labor Party, or in Great Britain, the Labor Party versus the Conservative. No, it's not about that. Nope. It's about us versus them. And I don't mean just all the 1%, because not everybody who's rich is a bad person. Yeah. Yeah, but it's those bankers. And not every banker is bad either, but it's those corrupt elements up there that have a lot of power. They're doing a lot of bad stuff that we need to call out. We need to do our research. We need to go out there and be activists. We need to go out there and protest. We need to go out there and create your own podcast talking about these issues. Yep. Okay, I'm not saying you always got to talk about it. Hey, you can have your fun time. You want to talk about something funny? Cool. But hey, 3 times out of the week, talk about serious stuff. 1 time a month, talk about it. I don't care how many times you need to do it. Send mass emails. Make social media pages. We need to use their systems that they've created for us against them. Because this is our world. We only got one world. And they're taking it over.
No, I'm gonna say one thing, bro. One thing for the end of the show, right?
All right. I'm gonna shut up.
No, you're good, bro. If Adolf Hitler was alive today, you know what he would say?
He would be applauded.
He would say he won the war, bro.
He would.
because he did. He won the war. Maybe like 70 years later, but at the end of the day, Hitler won, bro, and millions of people died for no fucking reason.
Look what he did. Look at Europe. Look at Europe. We fought a war in Europe, right? To stop them from stopping Germany from basically taking over all of Europe, and basically all of Europe, if it was up to Hitler, would have been in Germany. What the hell is the European Union? We fought a war just to sit up here and then have a central European government that controls the whole continent.
It's a fucking shame, bro.
And then when you try, if your people in those countries that are like, hey, I'm tired of being controlled by the European Union, I want my country's sovereignty back 100%. Then you're some right wing extremist. If bro. I know we're gonna end it here, man. Like, look,
yeah.
I just tell people, man, stand up for what you believe in.
Yep.
And I know there's gonna be people on the progressive left, or you're gonna be communist, or you're gonna be maybe too far to the right. But stand up for what you believe in. Because at the end of the day, it's not you versus me, left versus right. It's us versus them. And we need to stand up united. We're not going to be walking in line fighting this enemy. Hey, the left may be coming at from this angle. We may be coming at it from this angle from the right. Somebody else might be coming up from the angle because there will be political divides. As much as it's not about politics, I'm being a realist. But at the end of the day, we got to realize, he's not the enemy over there because he's a Democrat, or she's a Republican, or they're communists, or they're not the enemy. The real enemies are people who control every facet of our lives, which is government and corporations.
Yep.
And not all corporations who have control, I will say this, are bad. But we have to say, hey, I don't want that control. I want a decentralized government. I want my state sovereignty back. I want my county sovereignty back. I want my town sovereignty back. I want them to have more power, and then more importantly, I want my power as an individual back.
No, I agree, bro. I for sure agree.
There it is. There's my rant.
It's definitely a lot to think on, man, for sure. It irritates me, I'll tell you that, but I'll leave it at this. With this podcast, bro, we're coming after these people. I'm aiming at those people. I'm here, even if it takes us a few years, it could. When this podcast reaches 1 million followers or 100, whatever followers, it don't even matter. Whatever followers it reaches, bro, when we're at the point where we're able to have some kind of audience and some kind of, following where people are like, oh, damn, these dudes are telling the truth. We're going after the government, bro. The big government, the people that control it all, the corporations that control the government. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the people I'm going after to expose. One day we're going to get there. And if we don't make it there in this lifetime before we die, then they still got to face Jesus at the end of the day. They still got to be judged. You know what I mean? But we're going to do what we can, bro, to expose these people, to expose the corruption and all that. Doesn't matter, bro. We're gonna expose. That's the purpose of this podcast too, to expose the corruption, bro. Like, yeah, I can sit here and say I'm Republican. I agree with this. I don't agree with that. But at the end of the day, which is why I always believe in, I have liberal friends who I still talk to. We get along. We agree to disagree.
I love them.
That's why we have to be able to agree to disagree. And just get along. I mean, still get along, but people don't want to do that. But you know what? That's fine. At the end of the day, we're two different types of people. But no matter what, there's only one type of people that are aiming at us, both, not just the right or the left.
That's right.
And that's it, man. But yeah, and that is our podcast for the evening.
That's the Rod and Crump Show.
Yep, it's gonna be the end of the Rod and Crump Show this evening. We appreciate you tuning in, and keep watching. We'll still be here. We'll be talking. We'll be getting deeper on some stuff, some conspiracy stuff, everything.
Yep.
Got y'all.
God bless y'all.